This is 91.1 The Avenue. I'm Amanda, joined now by singer-songwriter Annie Dirusso. Annie, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. Now, you are coming to town performing on Wednesday at the Gather on Broadway Farmers Market series, downtown Green Bay in the Broadway district. And the show is sponsored by Nicolay Bank, a supporting partner of The Avenue. We're so excited to welcome you to Green Bay. What can folks expect for the show on Wednesday?
Super excited. On our way to Lollapalooza in Chicago. So we've been working on a set for that. So we're kind of excited to try it out and explore the area and just kind of have fun, summer fun, I think.
So you're based in Nashville. Can you tell me a little bit about your musical journey and how you got started as a singer-songwriter?
Yeah, I'm originally from New York, and then I moved to Nashville in 2017 for school. And I went to school here studying songwriting. And I was always doing music, even in New York. And then I just, met my band here and kind of built my team here. And I've been really fortunate to be able to start like touring and playing the songs kind of other places too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just are coming off of your God, I Love This tour, which began in Madison. And you were, I think, touring all the way through last month, right?
Mm-hmm. It was 2 months long. It was the longest tour I'd ever been on, and definitely the longest headline tour. But it was so special. We were touring my EP that had come out in February called God, I Hate This Place, and then all my back catalog as well. And it was really special. I was returning to some cities I'd been before and like seeing people I'd seen at these shows, in a lot of cases opening. But now I got to kind of create my own evening by headlining. And then we played some cities I'd never been to, like Milwaukee. And that was really special too. And just to see that people were showing up at all these cities was really, really cool. It was a really awesome experience.
Yeah, so you got to do an entire tour where you're headlining. What was it like for you? What do you feel like the difference is between like opening and headlining? I mean, obviously the main difference, but what did you feel like it was?
I think when the tour first started, I felt, and this had happened to me before when I headlined, sometimes it feels a little overwhelming and a little confusing because you're like, okay, everyone bought tickets to come see me play. And so it's kind of like, I really want to give them worth their money, like the show worth their money. And I really want people to just have a great experience here. And I want the whole night to feel really good. And I had an amazing opener for the whole tour named Hannah Cole. She's an artist out of Nashville as well. But when you're opening, it's kind of like a different challenge in a sense where you're trying to win over someone else's crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're headlining, you want to just, really impress your own crowd. Both are really, really fun and both have like a little bit of a scariness to them. Mm-hmm. But I would say headlining is definitely like a lot sweeter just because you get to see familiar faces and people singing the lyrics or like wearing outfits that represent some of the songs and stuff like that is really, really, really sweet. But I do love opening as well, but headlining is kind of the thing. It's very special.
Yeah. So your latest EP is called God, I Hate This Place. Can you take us behind the scenes and share the inspiration and some of the themes behind the songs that you chose for the album?
Yeah. So the name God, I Hate This Place sounds very kind of dooming in some ways. But I'm not really talking about any physical place. Like I'm not talking about Nashville. I'm not talking about my hometown in New York. I'm talking about the place that I was in mentally when I wrote a lot of these songs and how I was kind of feeling. And it felt like a place that I couldn't escape. Like I was just like, God, I hate this place. I want to just, feel better. And the songs on the EP kind of all have one theme of like not being able to escape certain parts of myself and having to kind of come to terms with that. And I think that it was like very freeing to write these songs, but also to release them. And then seeing people sing them on tour was incredibly cathartic. So it was a really special experience to get to see the songs out in the world.
Yeah. And I think a lot of those songs have resonated with your listeners. And you have a strong connection with your audience in that sense. What impact do you hope to, have on them with your music?
I mean, I hope to have whatever impact I can, I guess. A lot of people will come to my shows and say stuff like, oh my God, were you reading my diary? This is like exactly what happened to me or something like that. And I think that is one of the most special compliments because I feel like when I'm writing these songs, I'm writing like insanely specific, like details of my own life. And then when people say that, it really reminds me of the universality of the human experience. And it's like so beautiful to me that I could write like these songs in my bedroom about like a really specific moment I had, and someone could feel like I wrote it directly about their life. So I guess just having people feel like seen is kind of the goal.
So, how do you find your inspiration for your songwriting, and how do you sort of balance it with that vulnerability, creating relatable music?
I guess I don't ever really try to make my music relatable because I've learned over the years that just like being a human is relatable. And so I kind of do tend to just write exactly about things going on in my life or in my head. And I get inspired by reading, is huge for me. Like I recently have started reading poetry a little bit more, and just reading other people's way of expressing themselves kind of is very inspiring for me to figure out exactly how I want to express myself. But yeah, I get inspired by like random little things throughout the day, whether it's like a thought that pops into my head or something I hear someone say, and I kind of will write down those phrases. Or when I get a second, I'll kind of write down a few paragraphs about a specific topic, like have the time or space. Because on tour, you don't really have a lot of time or space to write. So when I do find those moments, then I can kind of like bring out my notebook and see what I've been writing down, which is always fun because I'll sometimes forget, like, oh, I didn't even realize I was like thinking that.
So, what's on the horizon for you? More recording, more touring planned?
Both, yeah. I mean, I'm right now working on writing my third, which I'm so excited about. It's been really, really fun to start writing and working on. Yeah, more touring is always on the horizon, which is really, really fun. And I'm excited to, get kind of this larger piece of work kind of done so that I can play a bunch of new songs for people. Because I have a pretty small catalog. So I feel very lucky that people have stuck around to see my show a few times with that catalog. So I'm excited to get to go out with some fresh stuff soon, hopefully.
Yeah. So, if our listeners want to learn more about you or listen to music, where should they go?
So Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, anywhere. If you just type in my name on Google, Annie Dirusso, you could find or YouTube, you could find me on any platform, basically.
Well, Annie, thanks so much for joining me today here on 91.1 The Avenue.
Thank you so much. I will see you soon.
Absolutely. Annie Dirusso is performing at the Gather on Broadway Farmers Market Series on Wednesday evening in downtown Green Bay in the Broadway district, sponsored by Nicolay Bank, a supporting partner of The Avenue.